thank you for being here.
Mhm.
I don't know when you hopped on, but we've had a beautiful day so far.
Beautiful.
So let's, and we paved the way for you to talk about the energetics of achieving more by doing less.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what we're going to talk about with you today. So
Yes.
I love your story of being and how you also communicate and express yourself, sharing your spiritual experiences. Like, so let's share your wisdom, because there's a lot of wisdom in you. Let's get that out here. And let's start with, no, I'm not going to ask you anything. What's coming up for you? That's my
What's
question. That's
right?
what I feel right now that I need to ask you.
Well, one thing that's coming up for me is in my life, I notice when I receive the the best content, when I'm so inspired to actually work, it's in this space that I'm not doing anything. I'm really enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying, like I live on the beach in Malibu, and every day at sunset, I go down to the beach and I dance and I watch the sunset, and I book my schedule around that on purpose. And when I am out there, I feel so much gratitude, and some of my best posts that I make for social media or emails comes in that space of what you might think is doing nothing. It's not working. I'm not working. I'm actually taking off from work. So when I think of this summit of like working less, it's like, yes, you don't have to slave over your computer trying to think of things that you're going to produce and share, when it can come to you with ease and flow because you're being yourself, doing what you love. And then from that, your work is a byproduct.
Isn't that a space where we all want to be in?
Yeah. And it actually can be a really fun, and it happens even to my clients too, where they're like, yeah, my day off, I start getting all these great ideas. And like, I'm like, no, today's my day off. And the same thing happens with me too, is like on the day off is when I tend to the most receive like, oh, maybe I'll do that course, or, oh, maybe I'm going to launch this, because we're in that space of receptivity. So work can happen so much more easily, and there's less of that hustle and push. And the truth is, for women, if we're hustling in masculine mode and doing, this creates burnout and fatigue because we're overworking our adrenal glands. So for women, we to really function at our highest and feel really good and energized, we actually need to rest and take time off and do things in a more feminine way versus masculine. And I don't know, do any of your speakers talk about feminine and masculine energetics?
Yes,
So everyone
absolutely.
hear that. Okay, good.
Yeah, we had, but that's okay. You can still add to that, because we didn't go into masculine and feminine energetics in as such. Rima was here. I don't know. Do you know Rima? No, she spoke about that. So and I think it's really good to elaborate on that a little bit more, because at least what I see in my environment, and if I speak for myself as well, most of us who have that desire to work less and to go to that space of achieving more by doing less are still caught up in quite a masculine environment or in a masculine energy. And to make that step, or to take that bridge to that feminine, and to really taking that time off and trusting the process, as we discussed earlier, it's a challenge when you're in that masculine energy, because that is something that, you know, it tears away all the rocks beneath your feet, right? So maybe what I love to know from you, it hasn't been always like that for you either, I suppose, or have you been always like this?
Oh, no, no. Becoming a medical doctor was hyper masculine, right?
Yeah. So what made the change for you? Or how did that transition take place?
Yeah. So becoming a medical doctor, being in medical school, college, the traditional world of work and business is like you work 40 hours a week or even more as a medical doctor, and you're studying all the time and you're doing, and you make it happen. So that was my reality for so long. I'm going to make it happen. And I made everything happen, all of it, and then I was traveling the world, and where I started to tap into feminine energetics was on my spiritual awakening journey around the world, where I didn't have plans and I didn't sometimes even know how money would come or where I would go next. And I started living in flow and understanding like there is we could call it magical, mystical element to life where there is a whole unseen supportive force. Call it the universe, call it your spirit guides, call it whatever you desire, that is working with you to co-create your reality. So you don't need to make everything happen because there actually is a whole energetic field where everything comes from. So if we're constantly in doing mode, there is sometimes no space to even receive some other opportunities. And so in that, I started to understand how when our schedules are completely full and we're busy, we have no time to receive this other magic. We can call it synchronicity. We can call it new opportunities. And as I started to do less, the universe would meet me. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to do anything for that. So it started happening like by accident. And then when I started understanding how it worked, I was like, well, then that's when I started getting into manifestation. And it wasn't even that, because it was back in 2013 when my journey started with this. So it wasn't popular like it is now, and it changed my life. And I manifest wild things that like, even moving into Malibu beachfront, doing it twice, not once, but twice, and like upgrading to the bigger, the nicer mansion, and people, and I'm still young, and I thought like, oh yeah, when I'm older and I'm like really, really successful, then I'm going to live in Malibu. And it's like, no, I'm just going to do it now. Mm-hmm. And so really understanding the energetics of money, like you don't even have to work to make money, you don't even have to work to receive money. And so seeing all how like the universe works, that's what I feel is feminine energetics. Is nothing you have to do. It's the energy and the state of being that you're in that attracts things to you. And that's why you can do less and receive more.
Wow. So now you opened up something here because we haven't been talking money, baby, today. So let's talk about that. How do you call in that prosperity and that everything? So you said you don't even have to work to call in that abundance, right? So yeah. How, if you would share with your secrets here with the audience, how do you do that? Like for people that do not know how to do that, how do you do that?
Totally. So someone,
how do you be that? Should I ask?
Yeah, exactly. How do you be that? Exactly. So yeah, someone, Mitzi says, so the energy of receiving is feminine energy. Yes, it is. Exactly. So, and that's actually, if we're thinking about making money is masculine. I go to work, I work 9 to 5, I have a job. That's the masculine way to receive money. The feminine, like receiving money, receiving gifts, like is the feminine way. So for example, when you manifest like a check, a rebate, someone even recently, yesterday actually, I had an experience where I was like, I want to start receiving more money not connected to my work. And I just set the intention. And one of my clients who was coming for a retreat next week said, oh, I have to cancel, but I'm giving you that money as a gift for Christmas. And I was like, great. Thank you. Like So it's understanding that intention setting is very powerful. So you could say like, I would like to receive an extra $5,000. And you can focus on that and you can create space in your life to receive. So what I like to do when I'm creating space to receive more money is I like to clean out the things in my house that I don't need. Mm-hmm. So you need to create space to receive. So get rid of the clothes that I don't wear anymore, clean out the cabinets, clean out the fridge. Like this creates space to receive more. And really getting clear on the number. So for example, like even recently I have a client who she last year was making like $6,000 a month. This December made $104,000. And in March, she set that goal and $40,000 of it was a gift. Yeah, like their in-laws just gifted them. And so all she did was get clear about the number. And then in getting clear with the number and doing her work, and a big part is we have to clear limiting beliefs. So if you don't believe it's possible to receive money without working, you won't. Just like if you believe I always have enough, but you really kind of only always have enough, then that's going to be your reality. So whatever you believe is true. So if you believe, oh, people love to gift me, people love to pay me, my clients pay me in full, that's what happens. But if you have a conflict with money, then that's going to be your reality. So a lot of the money work is about going back in time and healing moments where there was trauma around money. So maybe you grew up in a home, and it's like little traumas too. Like maybe you grew up in a home where it was like, oh, there's not enough. We don't have enough money. So then you have this program in your mind of how like, oh my gosh, there's not enough. There might not be enough. So we need to go back in time, clean up all the places where we have limiting beliefs. We took on the beliefs of our parents. Like sometimes karmic, like if it's in your lineage and there was like a lot of poverty, clearing out the scarcity consciousness. So making more money is actually a healing journey. It's actually a very strong spiritual journey. Yeah. You do your deepest healing work when you go through your healing of your money karma.
Joanne says, I love that.
Yeah.
I've been cleaning out what I don't need to clear the way for receiving, but never expanded my belief to that extent. Very clarifying for the limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Yes. So what I recommend for everyone to do is have a list where you make a list of all of your limiting money beliefs, like even wondering how, but how am I going to receive an extra $5,000? But how am I going to receive $100,000 a month? How? Right there, limiting belief. It's not your responsibility. Like I mentioned, you have this unseen support team. There's the universe. Like, unfortunately, we've lived in a reality that's very focused on like 3D. Like it's only real if you can see it. But when you introduced me, my specialty is in energy. Energy we can't see. However, that is the foundation of everything in this reality. So there is a whole field of everything. Like we're here to create any life we desire based on our belief system, based on our creative potential. So just by setting goals and intentions, you're more likely to achieve them than if you didn't set anything. So you direct the universe to say like, please help me. This is what I desire. And one of the most powerful practices to help you learn to receive is meditation. Because when you're in meditation, you're not doing anything. You're actually receiving. You're listening. You're receiving energy. You're not like writing an email. You're not like, who can I talk to? Who do I know? Like you're actually in a space of doing the opposite. If you're someone who might be spiritual or religious in some way, prayer is kind of like when you ask, and meditation is when you receive the answers. So I like to even think of intention setting as a form of prayer. It's like not a religious thing, but in a sense, like the idea of prayer is the same like setting intention. And prayer is like asking the universe, please help me to receive this. And in your state of meditation, in the state of being, is when you can actually receive it. Because think about it. Let's say if I wanted to give you a piece of cake and you're trying to give me a piece of cake it's like you can't even take the cake from me to receive it. So if you're constantly like do, putting out, and you don't have that time where you're leaning back and you're receiving, you're actually blocking a lot of things. You're not even available to receive. So that's why when we clean out places, it helps us receive more. When we clean up the limiting beliefs that may be blocking money, I know, and it never ends. So I know, like when I even moved to Malibu, I had some limiting beliefs like, oh my gosh, now people are going to charge me more money because they're going to think like I'm really rich. And that was preventing me from being really rich because then I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be really rich because then people are going to charge me a lot of money. So you see what I mean? So then I decided I'm going to shift it to be like, people love to be in Malibu. So anyone who has services will give me a discount because they just want to be in my home. You know, so like we can reframe our belief system. And then with that, I found a cleaning lady that was like cheaper than any of my other cleaning ladies I ever had. You know, so it's like incredible how your beliefs are either sabotaging your life or helping.
Yeah.
So that works for anything, money, work. Like also, I find that when I really got clear on my boundaries around my work in terms of how much I was working, like I'm very strict with like Thursday and Sunday are my days off. Like I do not work at all. And then like, I know which days are my online clients. I know which days are my in-person clients. You know what I mean? So I started really getting clear on my schedule and honoring that. It's like I started working less hours, but the time I worked was very potent. So I wasn't on all day 24/7, like in the beginning of my career. I was on all the time and I really burnt myself out. So I find it's very important to get clear on what you're focusing on. This helps the universe send you the opportunities, the people, the situations. Have your time off. It's very important. That's when you receive a lot of inspiration. Meditate, do the things, clean up your belief systems. This is energy. This is literally directing energy. Your belief system is like telling you what your reality is going to be. And then create new affirmation and beliefs that you want for your life. So money comes easily and effortlessly to me. People love to pay me. I'm gifted money all the time. Like whatever it is for you that you want to call in.
So powerful, absolutely. And this is what it's all about, right? To identify the limiting beliefs and then go deeper. And I like it how you said what you said about the that shift from your home in Malibu, because it is super tricky once you I've experienced similar things, like when you shift up the financial ladder and then you get a whole new realm of limiting beliefs. And that's where people lose things again, right? Because they never cleaned up what you just said, their old, the old beliefs or the old stuff. So it's very powerful. And I just want to emphasize that here for everyone. Wherever you are now in your life and in your career and in your financial ascension, do I say that in the right way? So I think what my takeaway is from you here is that whatever you level you are in, you will be facing limiting beliefs on every level. There's never a place that you say, and now it's enough. And I know actually stories from movie stars, etc., that they still think it's not enough and they blow everything away. That's why we see people, pop stars, sports stars, etc., lose everything, right? And that's because they failed to do what you just nailed so beautifully, shift that belief. So great to hear that. And you obviously live in a beautiful mansion here in Malibu. So everybody wants to offer their services to come and visit you. I think that is super powerful, Nikki. And now, how do you deal with that thought of, if a thought comes up that is shaky, like the doubt, right? So we know this all on a mental level. So, and I think, or not, maybe not all of us, but many of us here on the chat know, okay, we need to shift mindset, etc. But then the doubt hits in. So how do we go there? Because that's also energy. So how can we reinforce that and really go back into that place of trust of what you say, the container of receiving, and make space for receiving without being, oh no, but I need to pay my bills and I need to do this and I need to do things. How do you manage that?
So whenever there's doubt, so let's say there's doubt for all kinds of things. So I want to give a specific example with a client I had one client who is a painter, and she's like, oh, but how can I charge that much? Like, I didn't go to a professional school or whatever. And I'm like, go find the evidence. Like, we look at some of these like extremely successful people that have no formal training that charge whatever they charge. So it's like, go and find the evidence where someone is doing it. And when you have that evidence, it clears the mind. Like, the mind is always searching to be right. So if the mind is starting to doubt, it's like, well, I don't believe that's true. And then if you go like, oh, but look, this right here, here's the evidence, it's true. It helps to calm the mind from the doubt. So for example, when I have clients who are like, oh, I'm not sure if I can charge this much or whatever, I have them list out everything that makes them so amazing. All the money that they've spent on their development, personal development or traveling or whatever. And then with that, their self-worth starts to rise. And because that creates the evidence of, look, or you look at client testimonials, look, here's all the evidence to show. So finding evidence is a good way to help clear the doubt.
Yeah, I love that. That makes the bridge of the pure guts trusting, right, to what we need to see, what we need to see in the three-dimensional world. So yes. Okay, beautiful.
And also the mind is so programmable, and that's why meditation is so powerful to transform your mind. Like, like we have a computer, and inside the computer, there's all the programs, and you can delete the programs you don't want. The same is true for the mind. The programming you have is based on your culture, your education, the family you grew up in, et cetera, et cetera. That's why oftentimes, like you were saying, people who may come from a lower class, like in terms of financials, and then they make a ton of money, their programming is still here, so then they like lose it because the program, so you have to increase your money mentality. So it's, yes, it is working on limiting beliefs, but it's being able to hold that much money, feeling comfortable, knowing that it's safe to have a lot of money. It's safe to have a lot of money in the bank. This is like an energy. It's like, it's a different energy to hold. So you have to do the work to be like the energetic match for that as well. So meditation is a great place to start, at least in order to transform the mind.
Yeah, definitely. I see where what you're saying, and I see a lot of examples in life examples from people around me, and in my own life showing up on that as well. So that is so valuable. So one thing is to really tap into that, and especially when we're talking about a topic like working hard, right? This is what we have so much in our program, and once we try to break through that program, it will come up in all different shapes and forms to get us sidetracked.
Yeah.
And where we want to go is to really tap into that space where you are, and where where we all want to be in the end. Like, okay, it's okay to receive and to just sit and wait that. I think it's not sitting and waiting, because I had this discussion with other people and they said, yeah, when you say working less, to me, it feels that I'm like someone said it feels lazy, but it's not about lazy. In the end, it's about doing the real work, and the real work, to me at least, is what you just mentioned, right? To really get into, to clean up those limiting beliefs, to clean up your closets, to clean up the energy, and to allow it's to allow yourself and give yourself permission to receive.
Yeah. And when you say working less, for me, I think of less hustle.
Yeah.
Less hustle, less like unnecessary work, so that the work that you do is potent and it's on point. And that's why it's like really doing less to receive more. But it's not like doing less in general, that it's lazy or something, you know. It's more that it's strategic and it's potent and it's powerful. So you can get the same results working 2.5 days versus working 5 days.
Totally. So that was also my intention, but it is interesting, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. So it's not, the message is not, you cannot do, you don't have to do anything anymore, and you know, because then and money comes into your bank account. But it is doing or being in that, what you said in the beginning, being in that energy of allowing this. So
I also want to let you know though too that you can manifest without working. You don't have to work to make money, to receive money. I just want to make and I feel like we all have a purpose. So if we're not in our purpose, then we kind of feel like, what's the point of life? But there are people who receive and manifest money and it's not connected to any work. And this is possible.
Yeah. And I know people like that. And I got a vision. My sacred space is in the sauna. And to be, I was like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, how nice would it be if you just get paid for being, right? For being. There are people that are just getting paid for being. Well, you just got paid for being, right? Mm-hmm. And yesterday, and your clients got 40K for being. So that is, I totally agree with you. It's totally possible. So,
like mission-driven women, for example, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm on the beach enjoying my life and I'm like, oh, I want to write this. And like the ideas come. So it's like we get to work from an inspiration place, but not like, I have to pay my bills. So I have to make sure so it's like a different energy. It's like working from inspiration versus need. Like, I need to do this. I have to do this versus like I get to. Like, I have so much I want to share with the world and then I get to share it.
Yeah, totally. Now, I can totally understand totally think we're at the end of the time. I'm not sure if you have to run. I have some space because we have, after you, we have a small break. So if you're good, we can keep on going for 5 more minutes.
5 minutes is okay. Yeah. I have something at 11:15. So
okay. So yeah. So we wrap it up. So what was I going to? And now I lost it. It will come back.
So we're talking about you get to share your purpose, that it comes from an inspired place. It's not something you have to do, like you need to hustle.
No, you need to pay bills. So I come back to the need to pay bills. Because if you're on this call and you actually feel that you need to pay bills and you have bills piled up, right? And then I can totally have the empathy for that person that says, yeah, but how am I going to do this? Because the reality is I need to pay bills. So how can that person shift to where you are?
So that energy is scarcity. So we attract, energy is contagious. So we attract the energy we are in. So when I talk about that, I focus on energy, is I am all about embodiment. Like who we're being attracts our life. like almost like you're like this energetic signal, do, 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 do. And based on like what you're emitting, you're going to get. So if you're like, oh, I don't know where this money's coming from, and you're in lack, 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 you're going to attract more lack, 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 lack. If, I know it's hard sometimes, but if you shift to abundance, if you shift to the positive mindset, and it's so hard, you're like, yeah, but how? Everything's so bad. You can still, there's always still something to be grateful for. Literally get out a journal and write down every single thing you're grateful for and why. The why is very important. So like, I'm so grateful for this house. Like the place that you need to pay your rent, like I'm so grateful that I have it. Like, thank God I have it. Thank God for like this bed. I love this bed. When I get in this bed, like, oh my God, I feel so good. And you start to like up your energy. Your energy starts to shift from like, let's say if it was a color from like this gray, like needy, and then it starts going to like more vibrant and light and maybe colorful, and because of what you're feeling. So when things are challenging, it's easy to be in that energy, but unfortunately that attracts more of it. So we can, if we want to shift our reality, is to go into that other space where we're grateful. We see the abundance that's really here. Because oftentimes, even when there's abundance, people can find the lack. But you want to keep seeing the abundance, like seeing the abundance, like all the food, all the clothes in your closet, all the shoes you have, like you really are abundant. And the more we tap into the abundance, it's like magnetic. Start focusing on your money. Like every time you get money, celebrate it. Like, oh my God, yes. Like, like what we start to make money like a lover, like, oh my gosh, I love you. Not like, oh, where are you? Why aren't you here? Like, but really totally. like money, I love you so much. Like, thank you so much for supporting my life. I'm so grateful for you. See the shift in the energy? So our energy is the magnet. So you want more money, get into abundant vibes. Go do something that makes you feel abundant, like time in nature. Focus on how plenty this life is, and that will help. So this is how we use energetics to help us.
Beautiful. Was this helpful, everybody? Like, who says it's helpful? Yeah, right. Because it's when you're where you are, and but we all were, and where we are, we all were in another place one day. And if someone on this call is in that place, it can sound super hard to go to that other place, right? But it is all about but what you just shared. So, and that's why I wanted you to break this down. Thank you so much for that. Super helpful. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
I think it's important to even be vulnerable to share that I have had a month where my bank account was negative at one point in my life. I went through bankruptcy. So I think I know I had to go through all of that, because then when I talk about this, people aren't like, oh yeah, like she says that because it's always so easy for her. It's like, no, I've been through it. Like, even still, I have my medical school loan debt, like I still have my school debt for medical school. And I know a lot of people have debt too. It's just the way I choose to see it. And that's like a whole other topic. But just knowing that like you can go from here to here. It is possible for everyone. And like I said, I feel like I had to go through certain things. So I'm relatable. I'm not just some woman on a high horse being like, oh yeah, look at her talking in her Malibu beach house. She doesn't know what she's talking about or what I've been through. Yes, I know. I've been there. So yeah, and I would love to share my Ultimate Woman Uprising gift, which is a 5-step cheat sheet, and it also has 5 bonus videos. And it does have, one of the steps is to clear out all the things that are not serving. So it can support you in financial success right now, in more radiance and more love. And they're my 5 favorite tips that right now you can make a quick energetic shift.
Awesome.
So,
awesome. Yeah, that's amazing.
Rising.com.
Yes, they will drop it in the chat.
Okay, great.
Let me see. Can you share? Yes, there you go. So everybody grab your free gift from Nikki here. So ultimate women right. How do I say that? womanuprising.com, right? Just click the link, you get there, and then they get an opt-in page. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and yeah, I love, and if you look at the chat, there is, let me read it out loud here for you. So this was so helpful. I have a grateful mindset, but this takes it to the next level. I'm so grateful to you all for sharing these ideas. Thank you. That's Joanne. Thank you, Joanne, for engaging. Very helpful. Notice is very, thank you for breaking it down to the nuts and bolts on how to create abundance. Yeah, it's important because it is actually in the details. Right. Mm-hmm. So I can share the story of, I was driving a Porsche Carrera when I was 30, I think 30 and something, and I was not aligned with that car. So I lost the car. I didn't lose it, but it disappeared, and I changed it in the car that I felt aligned with. But just to say, now I realize I just had to clean up and shift my mindset. But at that time, I was like, what's everybody thinking? And this is not resonating with me. I'm too young to drive a car like that and stuff like that. So it went away. Got another car in that I liked more. But just to share mindset is so important, and it is in the details. So thank you so much. Thank you. We're looking forward to your gift for sure. I think this was so helpful for everyone, and I'm going to we'll be in touch. I'm following you, like what you're doing and what you're not doing, what you're being. You're being. So thank you so much. And when you feel like it, come to Spain. And then I come to Malibu, right? when we can travel again, so openly, right?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in as well. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.